Welcome back. It's Wednesday, November 12th. I'm in Western North Carolina. Juke is here with me. He's laid out on the ground. Got the other boys in Alabama, Griffin and Dalton. Tell me how's it going, Griffin and Dalton? Whoever starts, I don't care who starts.
Go ahead,
Hey,
Creed.
it's good, man. Just ready for another weekend of a more loaded slate than we've had the past couple weeks. But that does not always mean that it's going to be as good. Sometimes the worst slates are better. But I think this one's going to be a good. We got a lot of good matchups this week. So
Yeah, got a lot of playoff play-ins, play-outs games for a lot of teams.
hmm
Some chances for teams to shake things up big time at least in the top 15. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and see how the committee reacts to it next week.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of games, kind of conference championship and playoff picture games this week. Some from some teams you may not have expected, but there are some teams who are in that conversation, but um, it doesn't seem like it. And we'll talk about that as we go. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Um, we're excited about the show. It's going to be a great one. Um, go tell your friends and go subscribe for them. Subscribe yourself to really get this thing um, hitting on all cylinders. And I'm gonna say this at the beginning so people who listen to or at least the beginning can hear it. There's gonna be a poll on this episode. It's gonna be something related to, relevant to what we're talking about today, and get a little vote. We'd love to see some votes, and we can kind of talk about it. Usually, we were getting two or three votes at a time. That's great. We would like to get some more. So that's just like subscribe. It takes you about 5 seconds to go read it and then just pick your deal. No cost, no nothing. It's just all in the fun. So do that, and also, um, like I said, subscribe. We'd love to have you subscribe, and that way we can just grow this thing, grow this show as much as possible. We're going to start off with a couple of stories. I get these email every day, at least on weekdays, and it kind of gives some stories that are going on in college football. And so I've got two for you. All right, the first one is this, pretty interesting. Missouri State, they're in their first year of FBS football. The rule is in your first year when you transfer in, you are not eligible for the postseason. Missouri State has now won 6 games and they're bowl eligible. And so Missouri State's AD is now petitioning the NCAA for the chance to go play in the postseason, a bowl game, which is pretty impressive. Their first season FBS, they're eligible without the transitioning thing for a bowl game. So that's pretty impressive. And I
yeah,
think the rule's garbage. I think the rule's garbage. I think they
yeah.
put it in place way back in the day, um, for like it was different back then, so they didn't want some powerhouse team to jump in and go win a national championship like the first year or something, or something
hmm
crazy like that. That ain't happening nowadays. It's just not going to happen. So I think they need to take that away. If they do their transition period, like go from FCS to FBS, where they play a mixed schedule and they're not eligible for FBS or FCS because they're not playing a full schedule either way, that should be their transition period, and then they get to the FBS and they're wide open. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what I think anyway. Um, what do y'all got any thoughts on that?
I think it's a dumb rule. I think that it should be you should get a reward if you're eligible for the bowl season your first year in. I mean, that's a tough thing to do. Um, but I think now I'd say it's a little bit easier just with the transfer portal stuff. You're able to pick up play. You can add to your team. However, I don't think anybody's in jeopardy of um, losing out to one of those teams in the national championship or something like that. I just think that if you transition to the FBS, you're FBS, and you should be able to do what every other FBS team does. I don't understand the reason for it.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
want
if
to see
Yeah.
you
him in a bowl.
yeah, if you get in the FBS in year one, you win 6 FBS games, then I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to play in a bowl game.
Hmm.
Well, there
But
was
I don't know.
I think it's either maybe Georgia Southern's first year in FBS. They
Yeah.
basically won the Sun Belt, and I don't think they got to go to a bowl game. James Madison the same way. Now they may have
Yeah.
petitioned, they may have gotten into a bowl game, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm,
They may have gotten in.
I don't
I'd
remember.
have to go look that up, but I think that's a garbage
Yeah.
rule. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the next one, this one is pretty interesting. So we all know that Brian Kelly's not the head coach at LSU, right?
Hmm.
They played a game against Alabama on Saturday, and he was not there, not on the sideline, not coaching. All right. LSU claims it has not formally terminated head coach Brian Kelly and is now seeking, this is all unquote, is now seeking to fire Kelly for cause and potentially avoid paying a full buyout of nearly $54 million. dollars.
I saw that.
so
Yeah.
so they are trying to go back and now say we didn't fire him before. Now we're firing him for cause to
Hmm.
get out of paying the buyout.
Yeah.
Think about that. So
What
they're
would the
trying to do.
cause be?
I don't know. I think that's what they're going back and
No
forth
idea.
on. I don't know what the cause would be, but
I don't either.
imagine being a coach that they're trying to hire while this garbage is going on. They fire the guy and they're saying we're not going to pay the buyout money because we're going to change it and we're going to say we fired you for cause, which it sounds like Brian Kelly has done some very shady things in his times, but I don't think there's cause this time for him to get fired.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
seem. And so now they're trying to hire a coach, a high quality coach, and say, hey, we're not going to pay this guy the buyout. We don't want to, but don't worry, that's not going to be you. We won't do that to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
You got to be
And
kidding
they
me.
and they fired the AD. They've got the governor involved. It is. I think LSU right now of the top four jobs in the country: Penn State, Auburn, Florida, LSU. I think LSU is the least attractive right now, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
I, as it sits on November the 12th, 2025, I think LSU is the worst of the four. Just
Yeah.
because of the situation that they've created over there with
Yeah.
at first, you get rid of Brian Kelly, well, that's whatever. Fire the AD, the governor's getting involved. Before the AD's fired, saying the AD is not going to make this decision. They fire the AD, and now you're trying to, turn the tables and say we're firing him for cause so we don't have to pay him his buyout. If I'm a coach and they're coming after me, I'm going to be like,
I'm good.
that doesn't look very good. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
being a citizen of Louisiana that you don't really watch football that much, and hearing that the governor has gotten involved in LSU's coaching search.
Deeply involved.
Man, I would be ticked
yeah.
because
What?
why are you that worried about that?
I don't know. It is perplexing, but I know this, especially probably all other jobs, but especially the SEC jobs, the other ones, they're sitting back thinking, man, we're in a good position
Oh
because
my gosh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no doubt.
we don't look like the dumpster fire over in Baton Rouge,
Hmm.
Yeah,
And you know
you
what's
know?
crazy is they're every time Auburn hires a coach, the past I don't know, I guess after Malzahn, Harsin, Freeze, there's always been this narrative that Auburn, the boosters get too much in the way, and there's never alignment, and everybody wants somebody different. Um, that may have been true 15 years
I
ago.
Well, I think some of that has happened. I'm not saying all of
It,
it,
it
but I think
has,
some
it
of that has
has.
happened.
but I would. It happens at every school
Yeah,
for
sure.
for the on some level. However,
Hmm.
Auburn has never done something like this.
This is probably a new for most any school out there.
And the thing is LSU is in such a prime position because they are the only Power Four school in their state. They have,
Mhm.
and I know that the buyout is massive, but it looks like they got caught with their pants down because they prematurely made a decision that are going back saying we may not should have done at least until the season was over. And now they're sitting here in a bad spot.
Yeah. Um, it makes the Kennesaw State situation look not so bad from last year. Firing legendary coach Brian Bohannon,
Hmm.
started the program, and then saying that he decided to step down with 3 games left in the season when he actually didn't. He comes out and he says, "No, I did not say that. I got fired."
Yeah.
Then the AD comes back out and says, "Oh, it was just a misunderstanding." This LSU situation makes that look like rat turds, compared to
Hmm.
everything else. And so, once again, this is two big things. Milton Overton, AD at Kennesaw State, has now been bailed out by Jerry Mack, who's doing a phenomenal job at Kennesaw State. I
Yeah.
give it. I'm a Jerry Mack guy now,
Yeah.
and now LSU has now bailed him out on being a worse situation than what he put the Owls through last year. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
just something I was on my mind. I had to get it off my chest.
Did
Griff,
we
you have
talk
something?
about?
Go ahead, D.
Oh, go ahead. Well, I was just gonna say, did we talk about? I don't. I may have mentioned this last week, but coaching contracts and how to avoid these buyouts
I don't
being
think we
so
talked about it
big.
in depth. You
I
got to go with it.
I think I meant to say something about it last week and I forgot to. But can there not be a stipulation in a contract saying if you don't win this percentage of your games, you lose this percentage of your buyout at the end? So that way you're not putting a dollar number on it, and you're not putting you have to win this certain amount of games. You're saying of the games you played, you need to win this many.
I mean, you could, I guess. It
Well, I'm
might be
just saying,
hard.
like Hugh Freeze, you have to win 50% of your games. Okay, you have to do better than Brian Harsin did, and you didn't do that. So why would you still get your full buyout if you're not
I would
producing
I would
what you
say
said
it
you
would
were going to produce?
depend on the program that you're going into, because like Hugh Freeze going into Auburn after Brian Harsin, the roster was in a terrible spot. Um, you're already playing in the SEC. Your schedule's gonna be harder. To say you have to win 50% of your games in year one, you probably look at him and say probably not going to win 50% of your games. You'd be fine if you did. Um, so that like I mean, you would have to say over this many years you have to be 50%, and then that also makes it where you have to hold on. So like Brian Harsin, for example, you bring him in, you say over your first 3 years, you have to win 50% of the games, but then you fire him after a year and a half. So Brian Horson is sitting there and like, you didn't even give me my full 3 years.
No, no, I'm not saying. I'm not saying. I mean, I guess if you put years on the contract, you kind of have to. But I'm saying you have to win this percentage of your games, and maybe this is tied separately from your like year contract, say a 3 year contract. This is separate from that. So this is
Hmm.
during your tenure. You have to win this percentage of your games
Over a certain amount of years.
over your tenure that you're here.
Well,
Well,
I mean, but you could say like, you could just this is would never happen. But for example, you have a coach that comes in 2 years, he's two and what would that be? 2 and 22 over 2 years, and you fire him, and you're like, well, they only gave me 2 years. I could have gone undefeated the next 2 years. I'd be over 50%. So you have to put like a year mark on it in order to do that, because in hypothetically every coach could come back the next however many seasons and win 10 plus games and get their thing back to 50%. Is that's all I'm saying
Here,
is I think you have to say over so many years you would have to win 50%.
here's what you do is you quit signing people to deals 4, 5, 6 year deals,
That's
and
Yeah.
you
that's really
quit
my
and you
second point.
and you and you stop paying the coaches when they first get there multiple millions of dollars and make it merit based.
Yeah.
Bring this coach in and say, hey, we're going to give you a 2 year deal to start, 2 year deal, all right, and I don't know, we'll make it $1 million to make it a million because nobody will go anywhere for less than a million at a big time school. Say $1 million.
No.
So then you say you get 2 years. And so that way there's not this crazy buyout at the end if they get to 2 years. Hey, guess what? If they get to the middle of year two and they're absolutely killing it, extension to the contract.
Yeah. The,
Stop freaking tying your hands by making these long freaking deals and
Yeah,
having to pay these dudes when they don't do exactly what you want them to do and go undefeated.
hmm
You idiots.
yeah.
It's
That
it's
that's
it's
where
pretty simple.
it should be. A max contract should be 5 years, and that's if you're doing very well for, like, Kirby Smart. Give him a 5 year contract because of
Yes,
how
but
well
that's
he did in the first, 6, 7 years that he was at Georgia.
right. Don't
Now
don't give them
he
the 5 years at first.
no, no,
That's
no,
a
no.
reward. Yes.
Right. It should be max 5 years, and that should be after you've proven yourself over 6, 7, 8 years that you've been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean,
well,
these guys getting double-digit year contracts.
yeah. I
Give
mean,
me a break.
like look at Kurt Signetti. His extension he just signed is what 8 years. I mean, averaging over like $11 million a year on his extension. I get it. They're playing. I mean, they're doing really well right now. Is he? You think at Indiana he's going to be able to sustain that? And maybe he will. How likely that is, especially in the world of college football right now, where it's so volatile year after year. Like over the next 2 or 3 years, he could go 8 wins, 7 wins, six, five, and then now what? Now you're in a situation where you have 4 or 5 years on his contract of 11 point something $1 million, and now you're looking at a 50 to 60 million dollar buyout when you jump the gun 4 years before.
That's
When
the
he had been
problem.
there 2 years and
Yeah, that's
done
the problem.
great, and you just went ahead and
Yeah, but now
But
there is in a lot of these contracts a duty to mitigate clause where the coaches, once they get fired, they have to seek out either another coaching job or some kind of analyst job or like a network job, and whatever their contract is from the other school or the
yeah,
network cuts into the buyout that that the school has to pay them. So there is that kind of thing to help mitigate some of this, you know, extremely large buyouts.
yeah.
But still, it's still it's still crazy either way.
It
hmm
just. But the problem now is that everybody's doing it,
Hmm.
and nope. Something drastic have to happen for guys to start saying, "Oh yeah, I'll take a 2 year $1 million deal. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that, and I'll earn the rest of my money." You know, it's
Yeah.
just it just we're way too far gone from that. I think I don't know if that's
Oh, no
at the
doubt. It's
highest
never.
level. At the highest level, it's not going to happen anymore. You know.
No.
I think another issue is, um, well, I guess within this issue is instead of extension, just raise their current contract. Like Signetti, you've got what 5 or 6 year contract. I don't know what it is. Let's just say 5 or 6 years. Through your first 2 years, yeah, we'd like to pay you 10 or $11 million. That way, if somebody tries to come in and outbid us, they're probably not going to be able to match that, and they're probably not going to take the chance to match that. How about on your existing contract, we'll raise your 7 or 8 million to 10 or 11 for the next 3 years, and we'll relitigate after that. Instead
Yeah.
of saying, hey man, 8 or 10 years after this contract, you still got that 11, 10, $11 million. I think you just have to raise the
Yeah.
current contract
These
instead of extending it.
administrations, when there's a job opening or two, a big one, they freak out. Oh my gosh, we got to keep our guy. We got to just pay
Hmm.
him bukus of money.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know there's not like probably a clause in there. If somebody leaves, they have to buy out their portion of if they leave early.
Yes,
I'm
they
sure
do.
that's part of it.
Hmm.
But these freaking guys are going to leave anyway. If there's a job out there that they want, they're going to freaking leave anyway. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I mean, that's not a discussion. So I think it's just throwing money around just to throw it around
Yeah.
because like if Lane Kiffin's got whatever deal he's got with Ole Miss, I don't think he's. I don't know. I hope he doesn't leave. But say that he goes to Florida. It doesn't matter what he's got. If he thinks Florida's better, he's gonna freaking go to Florida. It doesn't
Hmm.
freaking matter, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's and
That's what we were
that
talking
is
about
just
last
the
week
way it
is the
is.
desire of these coaches.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's right. But I'm just saying, in general, if a coach wants to leave and go to another place, he's just gonna go if he gets opportunity.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the buyout probably doesn't matter that much because he's got too much money anyway. He'll just throw it at the buyout. All right, that's fine. I'm going to go to this other place because I think it's a better opportunity. It's just going to happen. So these extensions and all this crazy stuff is just unbelievable. Griff, what did you said you had
Yeah.
something you wanted to bring up?
Yeah. So just real quick, I've seen a lot of people talking about, fans talking about the coaches that they desire at, their respective schools that they're a fan of. Um, and a lot of the barrier to entry, it seems like, are people talking about, well, we can't have James Franklin, um, Eli Drinkwitz. We don't want them because their record against top 25, they can't win the top 25 matchups. So I went through and wrote down the top 25 records. This is as of July 1st, 2025. I couldn't find any updated stuff. I could have gone through and tallied all these coaches up, but I was not going to do that. Tell me how many of the 68 Power Four head coaches plus Marcus Freeman you think has a 500 or better record against top 25 teams? So
Four.
69 head coaches.
I was gonna say 4 or 5.
I say 4 or 3.
All right.
It's 10.
Okay.
Dang.
There's 10.
More than I
Now,
thought.
two of them, or no, sorry, three of those are 500. So seven that have a winning record against top 25 teams. And
Hmm.
I'll tell you their names. I want you to tell me if you think they would leave the school that they're at. Kalen DeBoer,
No.
No.
Kirby Smart,
No.
Ryan Day,
No.
Dan Lanning,
No.
Lincoln Riley,
Possibly.
Fran
I
Brown,
still. He would.
Possibly.
Dabo Sweeney,
No.
I don't think so.
Brent Key,
No.
Chris
Maybe
Kleiman,
he would.
He
Marcus,
he might.
I think he would.
Marcus Freeman.
I don't. Some people say he would. I don't think he would.
Not
All right.
likely, but could.
So
Yeah.
yeah, some of these could, but the point of this was to. So you look at Kalen DeBoer, Kirby Smart, Ryan Day, Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman are the ones that have at least, and Dabo Sweeney, sorry, at least, let's see, more than 3 wins against top 25 over their losses, if that makes sense.
There's a reason that they are where they are.
That's what
There's a
I'm saying.
reason.
Is
There's a
fans
reason
are
they're
so
at the top teams in
yes.
the country, top
That's
programs.
exactly right. And so, as fan bases in general, everybody's got to get out of this mindset of, well, we can't hire because he can't beat the top 25 teams. Nobody does.
No,
Nobody
it's
does.
so
And if they
rare.
do, they're not leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, with the way the top 25 is now, it's way different than what the top 25 used to be because you have your top 10 teams they're really good. They're probably going to beat everybody. And then the rest of the 25 is teams that should get beat by those top guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like 1 through 50. You got a chance to lose to any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the top 25 win percentage now means less than it ever has, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people don't understand how rare it is to have a coach to have more wins against top 25 teams than losses.
Yeah.
They just don't. People just don't understand. They look at Ryan Day, they look at Kirby Smart, they look at DeBoer and Dabo, and they say, well, these other guys can't do it. We're not hiring these guys. Are you going to go
Mm-hmm.
hire Dabo Sweeney? Are you going to go hire Ryan Day from Ohio State? Them cats are
Hmm.
never leaving. They're lifers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart's a lifer. It's his alumnus.
Yeah.
It's his alma mater. He ain't going anywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the casuals. They look at
Hmm.
one thing and say, we want somebody who's undefeated versus top 25 and has never lost a game as a head coach. Oh, he's not been a head coach before? Get him out of my face. I never want to
Yeah.
see him
Yeah.
again. If he's a coordinator, terrible. If he's a a G5 coach, terrible. We need the best. I saw something, and you know what? Everything on Twitter's fake, apparently. Everything I look at about coaches on Twitter, X, is absolutely fake. So
No
I'm
coast is not
take
real.
take shut up. Take this with a grain of salt. I saw, I think it was Twitter, maybe it was Instagram, I don't know. Somebody posted this graphic of odds for the next LSU coach. I want y'all to guess who was number one.
I
Nick
know who
Saban.
you're gonna say, and I looked it up, and there are several articles on the internet from like Louisiana sports people, and I can't, I still can't believe it. I don't. There's no way.
It pisses me off. It pisses me off because fine, go after Nick Saban. You're wasting your freaking time. You think Nick Saban's going to look at this garbage shoot that's going on in Baton Rouge and say, "I'll go back into coaching for that. That sounds great." Are you freaking kidding me? No shot. I mean,
No.
you got anyway. It's just absolute trash that's out there. It's just totally garbage. And like I said several times, I've repeated it. It pisses me off. And it's because a lot. I mean, and I'm not trying to bash anybody, but a lot of people just don't know. They just don't get it. They just think we're gonna go get the best coach ever. The freak you are,
Yeah.
There are only a couple programs who can actually go do that, and then there's probably
Hmm.
really only a couple programs within those couple programs who can do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just pump the brakes. Find a coach that fits for you. Find a coach that's going to get the staff that fits him, and they're going to go win games. Don't worry about so
Hmm.
much the head coach. He better get a staff with him because Brian Kelly's not a terrible coach. Sam Pittman's not a terrible coach. James Franklin's definitely not a terrible coach, and he was winning
Hmm.
until the end. But still, you got to get a staff and a group around you who's going to buy in and do what you need to do. And if you don't do that, it doesn't matter if you have Nick Saban. If Nick Saban is the head coach somewhere and he gets a bunch of bags of crap as his staff, guess what? Nick Saban's going to go down as not as good of a coach now because he was not good at wherever. So, and he would never do that. But that's my point is a lot of people just don't understand. They just throw names out there. Hey, this is a good coach. Let's go get him. Let's go get him or him or him.
And
Give me a
another
break.
another funny thing is like, for example, Auburn and Florida. I see Eli Drinkwitz is kind of up there. James Franklin is kind of up there. In some these conversations, and they say they can't win top 25 games. We don't want him. And I'm like, Auburn and Florida, y'all ain't in the business of saying y'all want somebody that can win top. You need to win games in general. You need to win the games that ain't top 25 first.
Yep.
Give me
Yeah,
somebody that
yeah,
can win the non-top 25 games
At least
exactly.
give us a
Exactly.
chance.
consistently. Yeah.
Dude,
Exactly.
Florida just lost to Kentucky by 31 points.
Yeah,
Okay?
that was bad. That was bad stuff.
You need to worry not about the top 25, like you just
Makes
said.
Auburn look good.
No doubt. I mean,
No, it
better.
Now, let's
Not
not
good.
go good. I mean, better. Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
point. All right. All right. Listen, let's jump into this. So I've got a note on here that says do the Spotify poll that I post. I'm going to post one. Just vote on it. The comments have gone down a little. I'm trying to do better on shouting out comments. Throw some more comments out there. We love to hear them and talk about them, and we'll put them on the show better from now on. Let's get some comments, and we get more votes on the poll. then we can throw the poll out there. We can do that stuff too. So those are my two notes. CFP reaction. I'm just going to go through the top 25 real quick. I'm starting at 1. I'm not going to say the numbers, so just listen. 1, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma, BYU, Utah, Vandy, Miami, Georgia Tech, USC, Michigan, Virginia, Louisville, Iowa. Iowa only dropped one spot. Pittsburgh, Tennessee, USF jumped James Madison, and Cincinnati. Now, the first one, the obvious one to everybody. There's one that's maybe more obvious to me, but for everybody in general. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. They kept it the top 5 stayed the exact same. Griffin, remember what I said on the show last week? I said, I think if Ohio State and Indiana go straight through and they win out and then they play in the Big Ten championship, especially if it's a close score, no matter who wins, they keep those two teams at 1 and 2. What happened this week kind of tells me they might do that because Indiana. Now, I'm not saying it's the worst win I've ever seen because it takes some guts to go at the end of the game and go win a game like that when you're down.
Mhm.
But Texas A&M dominated Missouri, and you could say they had a backup quarterback, blah, blah, blah. But they went into, on the road, an SEC team who is ranked or was ranked earlier in the year. With the other quarterback, they're certainly a ranked team, and they dominated. And they kept Indiana, Ohio State where they are, and Texas A&M is number 3. That tells me a lot. Now, we still have 3 weeks or 4 weeks left to see what's going to happen. But that tells me that this committee is looking at Ohio State and Indiana as the 2 best teams, no doubt about it. And I think they might just leave both of them up there at 1 and 2 if they win out. Big Ten championship somewhat close.
It wouldn't surprise me. I think that would be a grave miscarriage.
Not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I
know you're not.
We're showing them. They're showing us.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think I definitely could see them doing it, but
I think if A&M ends up winning the SEC championship, I don't think they'll do that. I think if Bama wins the SEC championship, maybe, because they'll both have one loss. I guess they'll all, say it's Indiana, Bama, A&M. They'll all have one loss. I think I could see that more than if A&M wins and goes undefeated. I think they're going to be number 2. Then probably.
I think so, but I could see them doing it either way.
Yeah, I mean, you never know these guys. But them keeping the top 5 the same, it's like if everybody wins, no matter how the game looks, it's going to be the exact same. And
right.
I hate that. I hate that because you're not going off what just happened this past week. You're just going off, well, this is what we had. They won. We're going to keep them there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that. But it will
Now, if you move down just a little bit, they did jump Texas Tech over Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
They jumped them over Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. Now, I mean, Ole Miss played the Citadel. I mean, very easy game for them, and they dominated like they should have. And Texas Tech beat BYU, who is they were ranked, number 8 last week? BYU was?
BYU was 7. Texas Tech was 8.
Oh, that's right, 7. Texas Tech was 8. That's right. Yeah, you're exactly right. And so they jump Ole Miss. I thought that was interesting. Not many people are going to say it because of who Texas Tech beat, but I thought that was interesting that they jumped Texas Tech over Ole Miss, but like they didn't jump anybody else in that above that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Ole Miss beats an FCS team pretty badly, and Texas Tech beats a good BYU team at home, and they jump Texas Tech over Ole Miss. But like you said, Texas A&M beats a top 25 team on the road pretty badly, and Indiana squeaks out a win on the road against a 3-5 team. But they say the same. It's just inconsistent. It is just inconsistent.
Right. I mean, that's the thing with a committee is it's going to be because you're going to have, it's people. right? It's people
Hmm.
doing it. So that's the way it is. And
Yeah.
so that's interesting because basically, me personally, I'm sure a lot of people are trying to do this. I'm trying to figure out what is the committee trying to do. I mean, what are they going to value the most? What are they really wanting to accomplish? What are they seeing as being a bigger deal than others? And
Hmm.
so that's I'm trying to read. I'm trying to figure them out. Now, move down a little bit more. You got Notre Dame at 9. All right, Notre Dame plays Pitt, who's number 22.
Hmm.
And Pitt has got a lot of things in their hands right now. Immunity.
Yes, they do.
All right, they
See,
hold a lot of things in their grasp that could change a lot of things in this ranking.
yeah.
And Notre Dame being at 9, Notre Dame's in the playoff right now. They were last week too, I think. Notre
Hmm.
Dame is in. And if they win this weekend, I'm thinking they're not going to have any troubles with the other two teams, and they're going to be in the playoff, no doubt about it.
All right.
Now, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just. All right. Were you about to talk about Miami or no?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We're
I'll
not there
wait for you.
yet.
If you're going to get to it, then I'll wait for you.
We'll get to it. Yes, sir. That's a big one. All right. My next one, you go to 10 and 11, Texas, Oklahoma. All right. And this is just something I got in my mind. All right. Texas plays Georgia. Oklahoma plays Alabama. They could wreak havoc in the SEC. Maybe not havoc, but they can really make things tough in the SEC this weekend.
Yeah.
They can. I don't necessarily think they will, but we'll talk about that when we
They
get to the
could.
games. Now,
Yeah.
here is the my question, my thought I had. What if Oklahoma and Texas play super close games with Bama and Georgia, but they both lose? They
Hmm.
both have 3 losses. How far is the committee going to push them down? Because Texas right now is in, because 10's the cut line with having the ACC and the Group of Five team out of the top 12,
Hmm.
or 2 Group of Fives, and we'll get to that here in a second too. But how far? Because something crazy in my mind thought, well, they're holding Texas and Oklahoma to a pretty high regard right now, I think, and I think they're a little bit overrated right now, in my opinion. Not crazy, but a little overrated. I think that if Texas and Oklahoma lose close games to Bama and Georgia, who are number 3 and number 4, Texas and Oklahoma may not move much at all. They may go down 1 or 2 spots if they play them tight. Now, the other thought
Hmm.
is that gets them both to 3 losses, and so then you've got BYU, Utah, and Vanderbilt right below them. See, this is kind of the thing that they're doing is they're kind of pigeonholing themselves in some of these scenarios, right? They've got and now you could talk about conferences, SEC. I'm still not convinced about Texas. I'm not convinced about Oklahoma.
Mhm.
With John Mateer not being 100%, yes, they beat Tennessee. Tennessee gave the game away. When Oklahoma needed Mateer versus Ole Miss to go win the game, he couldn't do it. Or made a couple bad decisions at the end of the drive. They had guys open. He could have gotten them down the field, whatever. Texas, I've only seen them play one good game, and they didn't even finish the game. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They didn't even finish the game versus Vandy. Now they're on a bye at this, last week. They're going to play Georgia, obviously in Athens, and it's kind of like so in the off season, everybody was Arch, and Arch is improving significantly,
Hmm.
and now he's about to go to Athens and start in a very hostile environment. And there are people saying that he's figured it out. He's about to take Texas in Athens to go beat Georgia. Uh, I think, and I'm getting more in a preview. I just think that's pretty bold to say, hey, he's figured it out. He's about to go in Athens and show up the dogs. Have
They
you
will.
watched Georgia this year? Listen, Georgia is not the Georgia of old. Guess what? No team is the team of old, except for Ohio State was the team they were last year, almost totally the same. You can't touch them. Well, actually, you could touch them last year. They looked like they did in the playoffs last year. Other than that, nobody else is the same as they used to be, traditionally dominant as they used to be. But
Hmm.
if Georgia does one thing, they find ways to win games. There's one time they didn't, and they should have. Ever since that time, they have found a way to win. So anyway, I kind of got off on a tangent. Texas and Oklahoma, if they both lose but lose close games, how far do they drop? Are they completely out of the playoff? Or are they going to try to get that three-loss SEC team in there? I mean, it's going to be super, super interesting to see what they do if that happens. You know,
Yeah.
and then like on the show last night, there's a couple of guys up there talking about these teams are going to win out, they're going to do this, and then I think it was Joey Galloway's like, listen, there are 3 games left. There's no guarantee these teams are going to win out. They're talking about some teams like they're going to win out and they're going to be this at large in the playoff. We don't know crap. There's still three
Yeah.
weeks, 3 games left. Only 2 games for some teams.
Hmm.
Um, it's um, it's going to be super intriguing and fun to
It
watch.
is
It
going to
really is.
be
Yeah.
extremly wild.
It
What's
is.
about to happen in the
And
last three weeks?
yes, and in seeing how will the uh how will the committee treat it? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
going to be interesting too. Now,
Yeah.
I'll move down to 12 and 13, BYU and Utah. So I think McElroy mentioned it with Utah at 13. They pigeonholed themselves with BYU where they couldn't go any lower than that because BYU beat Utah. You know,
Hmm.
which I think is a good point as far as kind of tying your hands where you're placing people. You know,
Hmm.
Utah's a 2-loss team. I guess everybody
Yeah.
up to that point's a 2-loss team, but anyway,
Georgia Tech, but
BYU beat them.
Yeah, Georgia
So
Tech's the only one.
that's right.
My thing is with that is, and you're probably going to say the same thing in just a second. But the way they pigeonhole themselves with BYU, Utah, Virginia, Louisville, and USC, Michigan, legitimately all of them are one spot difference. The top one beat the bottom one, and then you got Notre Dame at 9 and Miami at 15.
I was about to
that's
say,
what I
except
don't
for them, yeah.
understand. That's what I don't understand is how, because I agree they like you said, there's 3 instances of it,
Yeah,
and the one that they went against it, they are 6 spots between them, and I do not understand it. I don't
Well,
get it.
why? Well, let's get into the Miami situation. So they're going to put Miami 6 spots lower than Notre Dame, but they're going to jump Miami over Georgia Tech after Miami beats who they play Syracuse. Who they play
Yeah,
this weekend? They
Syr
beat a
uh,
Syracuse, I think.
they beat a bad Syracuse team,
yeah.
Yeah.
and they're going to jump Georgia Tech because Georgia Tech had to bye,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and the last thing I saw from Georgia Tech was a loss versus NC State. And so, Dalton, you said it last time, recency bias. And then on the show, all the guys, not all of them, some of the guys were talking about, well, Miami, they got a great chance of getting at large, blah, 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 blah. And Georgia Tech sitting right behind them with one loss, who up until their loss to NC State was the ACC team to beat. And now all of a sudden, they have one bad game. Georgia Tech take them out of the top 25. They're not even, basically
Yeah.
not even there. And so
Yeah, I
the
mean,
whole time,
Miami's. Go ahead.
go.
I was gonna say Miami's not even like if it stopped right now, Miami's not even in the ACC championship game.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
What are, I don't I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I
What they're
don't
talking
either,
about.
and because they're doing it strictly because of how much talent Miami has. I think.
And sure, they're talented. What I think a lot of it is that right now there are a lot of new teams that are in the conversation of getting in, but we still want to talk about the old teams that historically get in the 14 playoff. Or last year, Miami should have gotten in. this year. I mean,
Allegedly,
they
allegedly, allegedly, allegedly.
I say should have, as in they went all the way to the end of the season and then lost too late
Right.
and then blew it up.
So
So
Syracuse,
they, yeah,
ironically enough.
oddly enough. But it's like, oh well, Tech wasn't even close last year. They're the ACC favorite. Whatever. There's no way they're going to do it. What do you mean? There's no way they're going to do it? What is the rest of their schedule?
You know what I find really interesting while
Miami's
you're
got to
looking
play
at
Georgia
LB?
Tech.
Mm-mm.
No, no, they
They
don't.
got Boston College, Pitt, and then Georgia. One of those games isn't even ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they should beat Boston College, Pitt. That'll be a good game. But then Georgia's not even. You win your two
Right.
ACC games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing. So
they control their own destiny. Yep.
yeah, when I was looking up, because I was writing down the playoff poll and then the records out beside each team, and I was going on CBS Sports is where I was getting this from, and out beside Miami on this article, it says Miami, Florida, 7-2, and then out beside it says number 11 seed, and I'm like, Miami, if two of the five teams ahead of Miami in the ACC went out, Miami won't be in the ACC championship. How are they going to be? How are they already projected the number 11 seed, and they may not even make the conference championship? There's a
Well,
better chance that they don't.
right. The reason is because they're the highest ranked ACC team. That's how they do it projected. But I'm with you 100% because
Yeah.
they're most likely not going to get in.
And here's another thing is, but also they're in a bind because if Miami wins out and Georgia Tech wins out and one of those other, maybe Virginia or somebody wins out, and so it'd be Virginia and Georgia Tech probably in the ACC championship. It would be Miami. It would not be Miami. Now you put yourself in a spot where because you have Notre Dame ranked ahead of Miami, you can't just jump Miami ahead because of the head-to-head. But how can you drop Notre Dame behind Miami after having Notre Dame ahead of them this whole time, but also jump Miami into the playoff and not put both the ACC winner and the ACC runner-up in because they just played the conference championship and Miami didn't. So now you're looking at where Notre Dame, I mean, the playoff may have just pigeoned just to hold themselves into three ACC teams getting in. Because if Miami, Georgia Tech, and Virginia win, then Miami's got to go ahead of Notre Dame, or you have to keep Notre Dame out and Miami out, and you have to put the two ACC teams in. If you're trying to put Miami in, if you're trying to put Notre Dame in, you have to put Miami in. If you put Miami in without making the ACC championship, you have to put the ACC winner and the runner-up in because you can't punish one of them for losing the ACC. If that makes sense, you see what I'm saying?
Then if Louisville and Miami have the same record, you got to put Louisville in there too because they beat
Exactly,
Miami.
exactly. And
This
this
might
could
be an
all.
all ACC playoff.
I'm telling you,
12 ACC
there's going to be some contradictory stuff that's going to make it where the regular season it's going to be because if you jump Miami ahead of Notre Dame and keep the integrity of head-to-head matchups in place, or you put Notre Dame in and keep Miami out, and you tell every other team in the country, hey, don't play these tough non-conference games because they don't matter anyways.
And don't play them
Yeah.
early, by God.
Yeah,
Because if you lose it, if you win it early, it don't matter.
it don't matter.
I mean, yeah. So and then there's another instance where Griff they may not get any ACC teams in.
Yeah.
If Duke wins out
Mm-hmm.
and say Georgia Tech loses to Miami
Mm-hmm.
and then Miami loses to somebody else
Yep.
and then Virginia and Louisville are at number 19 and 20, they're not going to jump them all the way up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Duke not ranked, they're going to be 8-4 if they win out. And they go and win the ACC championship somehow. And they're not ranked, and you've got, say, USF and James Madison ranked above them.
Yeah.
That's the
North
top
Texas.
five. Well, okay, you know what? Nobody's giving North Texas anything. Let me
They are
tell you.
not, and I don't
Hold a
understand
second.
it.
Hold a second. Look at this. Let me read you North Texas's remaining schedule because this is going to tell you that they're probably going to get in. the championship game and be able to win it. UAB Rice Temple.
Well,
They ain't
here's the
losing one of
thing.
them games.
Here's the thing about the American Conference. South Florida, I think, beats Navy this weekend. They'll be 8-2, 5-1 in the conference. Tulane, I don't know what their schedule is on the way out. Let me look at it real quick here. Florida Atlantic, Temple, and Charlotte should win those games. So if South Florida and Tulane wins out, Tulane will have the conference championship bid, I would think, over North Texas because Tulane beat Memphis, who beat South Florida, who beat North Texas.
Well, see, well,
Which I know that, and
well,
I don't know
well,
what the
American
tiebreaker stuff is,
right.
but
I don't think they use the transitive property for that, which they probably should. But the tiebreaker,
yeah,
I
I don't
don't know
know.
what the tiebreaker is going to be, and that's the thing. I think every conference's tiebreaker is different, and so
Hmm.
you just have to kind of draw something out of the hat and say, oh, Tulane, good, you know.
Yeah.
So but it's a very great point. I mean, the American is there's a lot of stuff going on in the American Conference. A lot of teams are right there
Hmm.
at the top. Um, but part of me wants to pull for James Madison and hope James Madison gets in there. I don't. I just think it's
I think they
probably
got a real
too far
chance.
fetched. They do. They
Yeah.
do. But James Madison, if they want to get in there, they need to keep old Bob Chesney there, and they need to do the same thing next year, and they'll be in it next year.
Hmm.
For the group of fives, most of the time it takes them 2 years. That's what Cincinnati did in the 14 playoff. They were undefeated one
Hmm.
year, and probably made a decent ball game, and then the next year they did it again because they already started fairly highly ranked, and then won out and ended up being number 4 in the country. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
that's what like Boise State did it last year. Which Boise State's usually in the conversation, but
Yeah.
that's what now you South Florida's kind of a little faster. Now they've been decent the last couple of years, hadn't been anything crazy, but they had kind of a super fast jump up to the picture. So
Hmm.
anyway,
Hmm.
so there's our Miami Georgia Tech talk. Kind of did our ACC talk a little bit already.
Yeah.
Um, now, as far as some of these conference pictures go, we've talked about the ACC. That's the one that could really throw things everywhere. I mean, just things could go haywire.
Hmm.
Uh, the Big Ten's pretty much solidified. They're just in the Big Ten. We're trying to figure out, hey, you're going to get 3 or 4 in. Who's going to
Hmm.
be that third team? Oregon made a good run at it with beating Iowa.
Yeah.
Now Oregon's got to beat USC. Oregon's got to win out to be that
And
third
Washington.
team. USC's got to win out to be the third team. Now,
Hmm.
probably if USC beats Oregon, they'll probably try to put Oregon and USC in there
Yeah.
for at larges. If I mean, well, they've got USC at 17. How are they? That's the other thing. They've got USC so low. I guess if USC wins out, they'll just move them up each week. I don't know. I mean, they got USC at
Yeah.
17. Not saying it's wrong, but I mean, I'm saying USC's got a chance if they beat Oregon. They got to play Iowa this weekend, but USC's got a long way to jump up. If they're
Yeah.
gonna
Hmm.
get in there, because they got to. Right now, you got to get to be number 10. If you're below number 10, you're not getting in there unless you win the conference championship and you're in the ACC or group of five. So,
Hmm.
very interesting. With the Big Ten, the Big 12, Texas Tech has sustained their spot as the number 1 team in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to figure out who's going to be the runner-up. Can the runner-up get in the playoffs? Now, with BYU and Utah being at 12 and 13, yes, they can. Now
Hmm.
they probably got to be pretty spectacular, and BYU's probably the best shot to do it unless they just crap the bed the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Um, so that one's probably a little more cut and dry too. You might only get one Big 12 team in unless
Yeah.
BYU, like I said, BYU needs some help.
With the way
Um,
the ACC is going, the Big 12 should get at least 2. You would think.
sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean,
But you also got Cincinnati who plays BYU. So if Cincinnati wins that one, then it's Texas
yeah.
Tech and Cincinnati, and BYU's probably out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
mm,
Now here's the thing though. if you're not Texas Tech, this is what I'm thinking as of right now. You got to have some help. But if I'm not Texas Tech and I make the Big 12 championship game, I'm pretty much thinking I need to win to guarantee. I mean, it guarantees you to get in. But I'm thinking if I lose this championship game, I'm not getting into playoffs. Especially if I'm
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati, because you're down there at 25.
Mm-hmm.
Utah's at 13. They got 2 losses already. I mean, so you better win the championship game if you get in it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So there is our CFP rankings, kind of reaction, talk about it, all that good stuff. Now, I've got a little action on the TV. Toledo versus Miami of Ohio. They're up 24-zip. It's 3 blowouts going on right now. Actually, no. One of them's close. Well, Central Michigan's up 24-13. So there's, action. No crazy games. There's some crazy games last night. Not tonight. The Akron Kent State game last night was pretty unreal. Uh, Kent State got a win though.
Yep.
But I'm only watching one game at a time. Guess why? Yes.
YouTube TV and Disney will not.
Yeah.
They won't get
YouTube
their
TV
hands.
and Disney to figure it out. Quit pinching pennies. Quit asking for more money. Disney needs to grow up. I know Disney's a kid world. Grow up. We're in the real world. We're suffering. Y'all are just rolling in cash every day like you always do. We're suffering. We want to all we want to do is we want to watch football. That's all. That's all most everybody in the world wants to do is watch football. Just let us do it, please, Disney. It's probably more Disney than YouTube TV, but they're both lumped in together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like politicians. If I'm on one side, I can't be with the other. Give me a freaking break. Grow up. Now, I wanted to ask y'all this one question. Okay, I was watching the show last night, and I got this thought in my mind when I was thinking about the Texas Oklahoma stuff. Oklahoma's schedule's pretty brutal, right? I mean, pretty
Yeah.
tough.
It's not good.
So it got me to thinking, if Ohio State or Indiana played Oklahoma's schedule, how do you think that's going? All right, I'll pull it up because
Yeah,
I don't know
got
it
it right here
exactly, but I
too.
know it's tough.
All right. Are we assuming all these are neutral site, or
Oh
can we
gosh,
assume
no.
that?
The home and away. We're going home and away with
All right.
with
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma's
I'm pulling
schedule.
that up.
So
Okay.
you
Okay.
play
You're just gonna. Okay. Okay.
Illinois State at home. No win that one. Michigan, Ohio State, beware. You got Michigan at home. You might be in trouble, Buckeyes. You got them
Feet.
this year. Maybe give them the thumb. Maybe we'll see. You got to go to Temple. You'll get that one. You got to play Auburn at home. Listen,
Oh
listen.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That is no cakewalk, folks. Auburn's going to hold you a little bit as far as points wise. Now they may score 3 points, but they're going to hold you a little bit. Kent State, you'll beat them by 100. Then you got to go to Texas. Now Ohio State beat Texas, but that was at home, wasn't it?
Yeah, this
It
one.
was at
Well,
Ohio
this
State.
this one's neutral site. So that one is neutral site.
All right, all right. Now I got to remind myself. Indiana. I'm also putting Indiana up against this schedule too. So Indiana at Texas.
Also, you
Indiana's
got to
looked
think
pretty good.
Texas midway through the season versus game one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, that's
The
right.
way
That's
that Ohio
right.
State. Yeah.
That's right. All right. Then you got to go. Hey, this is on this schedule. It's October. You're going to South Carolina on October 18th. You're gonna have to battle
Yeah.
in Columbia, and then you play Ole Miss in Columbus or in where the heck is Indiana? What town? Not Pawnee.
Is it
That's
Bloomington?
Bloomington.
No, that's Illinois. Or is that Illinois?
Mm.
No, Illinois Champaign.
That's right.
and Pawnee is from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, you got Ole Miss at home.
Hmm.
That's boys. That's a playoff game.
Yeah.
That's a playoff
We
game.
Oh
might get
yeah.
to see that one.
Oh, that would
We
be.
might.
Oh,
We might. Then you got to go to Knoxville, Tennessee. 110,000 freaking rowdy, gaudy orange wearing folks yelling at you the whole game. How does that feel? Probably pretty bad. Then you got to go to Tuscaloosa. Got to go to T-Town in November. They don't have a run game, but they're pretty stout on defense right now.
Yeah.
Then you play
They,
Missouri at home, right? Missouri. And then you play LSU at home. Listen, here's the reality. I think both of them are going to win way more games than they lose. They're not undefeated right now, though.
I think they have at the least two, at the most four losses.
yeah. And you got to think about the wear and like the injury wear and tear, like the
Mm-hmm.
physicality of these games. Because this is not. Let's look at
Go to Ohio State.
Texas, Grambling, Ohio, at Washington, Minnesota, at Illinois, at Wisconsin, Penn State, at Purdue, UCLA is who they had this weekend, then Rutgers, and then at Michigan. That ain't the same.
There's a little bit difference. There's a
These two
difference in
things
those
are not the
schedules.
same. Yeah.
Those schedules are not the same. I'll say that. The schedule. I
Yes,
don't
that's
know
what.
if the
Yeah.
teams are or not. The schedules are certainly not the same. And that it got me thinking when I was watching the show. I thought, man, that would just be. Everybody talks about Big Ten versus SEC, Big Ten versus SEC, and it's a valid argument. So there's a podcast out there, and it's Herb Street and Galloway. It's called Nonstop. I just started listening to it. Joey Galloway said the Big Ten is closer to the ACC than the SEC this year as a whole
I saw
conference.
that. I would agree with that.
I mean,
Saying
well,
like the Big Ten is
As a conference as a whole, I would
Okay.
agree with
as
that.
from top
Yeah.
top to bottom.
In the top
Um,
four, no.
well, no.
No.
Yeah, top to bottom.
Top to bottom,
I mean,
yes.
I
Well,
can
even
I
the
can
top
see it a little.
four. No, sorry. Yeah.
I mean,
Come on.
it's the how deep the SEC conference, the SEC is just unbelievable. I mean,
Guys,
I mean,
I'm telling you how we fix this is we start doing like they do in basketball, those conference versus conference, weekends, whatever. Let's start doing it in football. Your non-conference weeks, everybody's non-conference weeks are week 1 through 3, and you match up against a Power Four team, SEC versus ACC this week, SEC versus Big Ten this week, SEC versus Big 12, and all the other kind of do like a rotational thing the first 3 weeks. And let's
Oh,
pit.
that would be.
Well, I mean, I guess you couldn't do top versus top every time because that would be absolutely brutal. Or maybe just like
why
one or
why
two conferences each year. I'm just saying like if Alabama has to play Ohio State and then Miami and then Texas Tech first three games of the season and then go
Oh
into
yeah, I didn't
SEC
think about
play.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
That
but
would
like
be
at
so
least
fun.
do like this year we'll do SEC versus Big Ten and maybe Big 12 and then ACC versus Big
Well,
12 and
I,
whatever.
I'm pretty sure the NFL does some kind of thing like that where when they play out of division, they play whatever you ranked last year. So like the thing about now is with the portal and everything, you might be number one this year, but the next year you might be number four. So it wouldn't be maybe
Hmm.
as tough for that other team because it would change up a little bit. Now you're
Yeah,
locked in the
agreed.
schedule, but I think that would be awesome. I think
I
that'd be
wish they would
awesome
do it.
to have the
I wish they
first
would
three
do
weeks,
it.
like you're saying. The first week is SEC and ACC, Big Ten, Big 12. And you go week 2, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC. And then the third week you go SEC, Big 12, ACC, Big 10. That would be and do 1-1, 2-2. Now the tough part is the ACC's got 18 teams, the SEC's got 16, Big Ten's got 18. In the Big
Yeah, yeah.
12, they have
You would
18
have
too.
there would
So
be some teams that
y-
would have buys, but or
right,
whatever.
but
But
that
Or
would
you
be
could just make
freaking
the bottom
awesome.
two play each other.
yeah,
Right,
I
and
mean it would be
that's
Or
yeah,
two
incredible.
yeah.
team play each other.
That would be
That
a
would
lot
be
of fun.
fantastic. And then you have like a cup at the end of it, the conference cup. Whoever has the best record.
And then that would take some of the conversation away from some of this garbage that we talk about. SEC this, ACC
Yeah.
that, Big Ten, Big 12. Then every year or at least have a really good idea, you know.
Where do
Yeah.
y'all
So
think Florida would rank in the Big Ten? Not based off their record this year, but if they played a Big Ten schedule, where do you think they would sit in the Big Ten?
oh well, their team this year versus Ohio State schedule, buddy. They're. I mean, I'm
Yes.
not gonna say they're not top in the conference.
Let me
I'm
let
gonna
me go
say
to
they're
let me
probably
go to Indiana's schedule and let me tell you what you think Florida would do with this. Old Dominion game 1,
W.
Kennesaw State game 2,
L.
That's
Indiana
right,
State
Dave.
game 3, Indiana State,
Who? Okay,
Illinois, at Iowa, probably a loss, at Oregon, probably a loss, Michigan State at home, probably a win, UCLA at home, that'd be a close one. Way UCLA
hmm
started to play. At
hmm
Maryland, I think you win. At Penn State, you probably lose that one. Wisconsin at home, probably I think you win. At Purdue, so I'm looking at 1, 2,
9-4.
3,
I've got 9,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
9 and 3,
7 or 8
8
wins.
and 4,
8
9
and
and
4.
3.
My favorite thing is
Yeah.
when people say so SEC team, if they would have played them this year, they would have beat this Big Ten team or whoever it is. And people are like, oh, here the SEC goes with their hypothetical wins again. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but you saying that's a hypothetical win for the SEC is basically like you saying that's a hypothetical win for the Big Ten. That's why we need the Conference Cup.
Hey,
We should pitch that.
patent the Conference Cup and let's get it up to the commish and let's get this going. Commish
Yeah.
I'm
style,
going to write that
right?
down. I'm
Yeah,
writing it down now.
yeah. Commish. That's right. That's good. I think we
And
need to
and
do
we and
that
we
because
get
that would be freaking awesome.
and we get a penny for every dollar that's made doing it.
I think that's a great idea, man.
No, not a penny. Give us $1.
The dollar for every
Well,
dollar.
he's saying penny per dollar. So you're saying we get every single dollar they make, we get it. I would be okay with
Well,
So
that
say
too.
say over the year it makes 20
50
million
cents. You got
dollars.
to go at
That's
least
what
50 cents.
200,000 for us, or
40 cents?
yeah, $200,000 dollars for us every year.
No, you got to go 40 cents. We'll go 60-40 with them.
Don,
Yeah.
they would never do 40 cents
Well,
Well,
because of
then
everything
we'll
else they
do.
have to
then
pay. Yeah,
Then
we'll
well
do
we'll
then
it.
do.
they don't get the Conference Cup. We keep it to ourselves and we just boast over it for years and years until they
And
come
this
to the
and we,
senses,
we win
right?
the Conference Cup every
We have,
year.
we're
Yeah,
not penniless, but we have the Conference Cup.
right. We have it
We
and you want it. That's what we'll say. All right, boys. We haven't even gotten into one game yet. Real quickly, Heisman. Do you think Fernando Mendoza had a Heisman moment on Saturday?
Yes,
Yeah, he did. And that catch at the end was insane. Did
It
y'all
was
watch it?
really, it was really
I
Omar
was with you,
Cooper's
D-Rod.
Heisman
Yes.
moment.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I watched it.
yeah, it was
Just
unbelievable.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. And now this is the tough part about the Heisman because they always look for moments, right?
Mhm,
The rest of that game, Mendoza was not good.
mhm,
But the crappy part about it is every Heisman voter there, there's almost 1,000. There's like 900 of them.
mm.
Every Heisman voter is going to look back at that game and they're going to say, "Oh man, that was his Heisman moment." But then you look back at the rest of that game, he was not very good. He
Yeah,
didn't
Yeah.
play very well.
mhm,
And not saying that he's a bad quarterback because of that, because he's been balling out the rest of the year. But it
yeah,
just sucks it happened. I wish it would have happened in the game where he was balling out. And for whatever reason, the defense was off and they were scoring him point for point. He had to go down and win. But instead, I mean, they're kind of getting their crap pushed in for most of the game. He threw a pick a little earlier in the game, a bad one,
Hmm.
and then he has his Heisman moment, gets sacked on the first play of the last drive, and now he wheels them through and goes and scores.
Mm-hmm.
But as a Heisman, aren't you looking for the whole thing, right? And he's shown the whole thing the rest of the year. I just hate the term Heisman moment when it's that. Like, I hope that he does something better. Like, hopefully in the Big Ten championship game, it says that's his Heisman moment. That's it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, the catch the cat made, Omar Cooper Jr., I think his name is, unbelievable footwork he put to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was.
un, when I watched it live, I thought, oh, he's out. They got to go. It's fourth and goal,
I did
third and
too.
goal, whatever. And then they showed it, and I saw the right foot goes down and it doesn't touch. I thought, oh, he's definitely out. And then the left foot, ding, touches it right there. I
Yeah,
mean, crazy catch, unbelievable.
it was one of the closest clear cut catches, if that makes any sense. Saying like I get whichever foot glided like this far from the ground,
Yeah, yeah,
that close, and then the foot that went in was like that close to going out.
I know,
I mean, you
I
have
know,
both feet, a centimeter from messing the whole thing up, but you could tell on the
unbelievable.
replay, yeah, it was a catch. Mm. Yeah, it was
And
awesome.
hey, you know what? We talk about how crappy refs are sometimes, but that ref right there on the call made the right call right in the moment. He's all
Hey,
over it.
and he's guessing. There's no doubt.
Don't look at his eyes. He's all over it. He's looking at it. Boom,
Well,
touchdown, baby.
I know, but
Yeah. You can
you could
say
just have
you can.
easily called that incomplete on the field.
I think it's much harder to call that complete on the field. Like there has to be an element of I really do think he called that in that moment. How that has got to be so tough to do. Because like you said, his maybe his right foot looked like it came down out of bounds,
Yeah.
and then his other foot got in. And for the umpire or the referee to be able to see that, maybe obviously didn't see it that close, but like for him to have at least an inkling that maybe that foot didn't touch and his foot got in that quick of a moment, because it looked in fast view, it looked there was no shot. It was complete, no shot. But
That's what I thought.
for that referee to be able to look at that and say, I think he caught it when everybody else in America said there's no way it was a catch. Good on him.
Listen, I'm on the record. I want y'all to get this on record. I'm trying to give a compliment to an official. So let me give this guy a compliment because usually it's the exact opposite. So
Chat, clip that.
I'm trying to say this dude was right on the money, right on the money. He called it. He's watching it. He backs up and he sees it. Touchdown. Great
Yeah.
job. I wish that guy had the name on the back so we could say, hey, great job, Kozlowski, whatever your last name is. You know what I
He's
mean?
in playoff contention.
He's in mid-season form. He's ready to go. Yeah, put him in the playoffs. Put him in the playoffs. In the official
12
playoffs.
seed.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Well,
The one
he
seed.
might
He'd
be a
be the
better
one seed.
seed than that. Yeah, he might need to be. Anybody else you think just real quickly, Heisman wise, who do you think who do you like? Is there anybody that sticks out to you to say, man, this guy's good, or I really think he's going to win it?
Marcel Reed, I think should be
Yeah,
in the top 3. But
yeah,
when you
man.
look at the odds, gosh, who was number 2? Oh, Julian Sayin, and then Dante Moore's
Yeah,
3rd. I'm like, no, no,
yeah.
Marcel Reed should
Well,
be in the top 3, and I think it should be
I
right.
don't
Ty
know.
Simpson should be in the top 3 too.
Julian Sayin is on pace for the best completion percentage of in a season of all time. He's at 80.9% completion so far this year.
Well,
80.9.
yeah, that's
Throwing routes on air.
that's. I mean, that's
No,
retro bowl
I'm kidding.
numbers.
I'm kidding.
I couldn't do that in
I'm kidding.
pregame warmups.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the tough part about him or anybody at Ohio State, they're so quiet right now because they're not really
Hmm.
playing anybody crazy good after week one. So much hype with them playing Texas, and it's just been so quiet because they haven't played anybody big, no big time games. And the big time games that they play are at noon on freaking Fox.
Hmm.
Okay, and so, but they're just beating everybody. There's no drama. And so it's not helping the Heisman, quote unquote, Heisman moment. That's why the Heisman moments have turned into kind of crappy things, I think, because you have the guys who are steady Eddie the whole time and they don't have that quote unquote moment. And then, you don't think about them. So I think that
Hey,
makes it tough for them.
let me give y'all this stat line real quick, and I'll see if y'all can guess it. And y'all may have seen it when I saw it today, but I just had to look at it. 68.8% completion, which is the 20th best in the country. 2,840 yards, which is second in the country. 25 touchdowns, which is second in the country, and 0 interceptions, which is tied for first. Does that
Mm.
sound
Um,
does that sound like a Heisman stat sheet?
Is that Jackson Arnold?
Does he have a is there another one?
Are you
um,
asking us who this is?
Yes, who do
I'm
you
gonna
think this
guess.
is? Actually, at first, do you think this is a Heisman worthy stat line for a quarterback?
I mean, obviously
Almost
yards and
3,000
touchdowns
yards,
and
25
no
touchdowns, 0
interceptions.
interceptions,
Yeah.
almost a 70% completion.
Yeah, that's
I'm
freaking
I'm
good, dude.
I'm gonna judge by your tone that this guy's not really in the Heisman race.
He's not.
It's the cat from oh crap. I mean, I know Ty Simpson's one of the other guys who's got low interceptions.
Yeah.
Gosh, I saw this. Who is it? Who's the guy you're talking about?
Joey Fagnano at UConn.
Crap, that's exactly right.
Holy
The dude from
cow!
UConn.
Yeah.
UConn is going to win like
Just beat
nine
Duke.
games this year.
Yeah.
Just
I,
beat
I was
Duke, the
telling somebody
possible ACC
this.
champ.
I was telling somebody this the other day. The Heisman, or really any of these awards, for the most part, it depends so much about how your team's record.
A
Yeah.
And
hundred
it
percent,
is it's really egregious. It is.
100%.
And
It's
and
it's
I get
only
it.
it's
The
only
teams who have great records, especially Heisman candidates, you're going to be good, okay?
Yeah.
But that guy should have some kind of recognition in this. I mean, you can't go a season like that and just
yeah,
nothing.
Yeah.
no doubt. The only times I remember seeing it where a team wasn't elite and didn't get a guy or the guy won not from an elite team. RG3 won it at Baylor. They won like 9 games. Caleb Williams won it. They were not elite. They won like 9 games. Those are the only 2 times. All the other times, the teams were
Jaden
very,
Daniels.
very
Travis
good.
Hunter.
Jaden
Oh
Daniels won
well,
it
there you go.
the year that he won it.
Two-way
They won
player,
9.
two-way player, and that but it's same thing, same
No, I
thing. I
get
mean,
it, but
he's
the team wasn't
right, right.
elite.
Yep, yep, for sure.
But like
Yeah. So
if your team goes 0 and 12 and you go out and throw for 500 yards and rush for another 100 and throw 4 or 5 touchdowns and rush for one, and your team puts up 60 plus points every game and you go 0 and 12 because your defense is that bad,
Your defense is
I still think you
terrible.
should win the Heisman.
transfer, transfer.
Yeah, you need to get out next
Mid-season.
year.
Yeah. Trade, get out before the trade
So,
deadline. All right,
geez.
listen. Yeah. What's his name? Fangano. What's his name?
Joey Fagnano.
Wow, crazy name to say too. Joey Fagnano. Put him in the Heisman race. Invite him to freaking New York. What if we don't? What the freak are we doing? Listen. So this is the last weekend of Division 2 and Division 3 regular season. Their playoffs start next week, and we'll jump into that next week. We're going to jump into that heavy. The week after that is FCS playoff start. So FCS has 2 games left, and they start rivalry weekend for FBS is FCS playoff time. So they're in crunch time in the FCS 2014 playoff. There are 11 conferences, 11 automatic bids, 13 at larges. Okay? And so we're going to jump into those here in a second. Here are the games we got coming up this week. Troy versus Old Dominion. Pretty big game in the Sun Belt. Uh, Pretty big game in the Sun Belt. We're Bama boys. I want Troy to go get it done over the freaking Old Dominion Monarchs. All right,
Fight on.
I did a road to glory with Old Dominion one time. We dominated, but Troy all the way. Actually, you know what's funny? No, it was a dynasty. I went from Old Dominion to Troy. How about that? That's pretty neat. Anyway,
Wow.
uh, Friday, Clemson at Louisville. Some people are saying they think Clemson's now figured it out and they're about to go beat Louisville. It's kind of the same
That would
thing.
be
You
crazy.
see, it's kind of the same thing. You see a team play one good game and you say, oh, they figured it out. How do we know that? You got to show me more than one game so I know you figured it out. Like
Trust.
Alabama, they lost to Florida State and they beat Louisiana Monroe and Wisconsin by like 40 each. I thought, man, I still don't believe in them. I picked Georgia to beat the piss out of them.
I
And
did
then they
too.
beat Georgia. And they won that game. I said, okay, well, maybe they are for real. So to me, I need to see more than one game. Next Friday game, Minnesota at Oregon. Oregon might run it up on the old
Yeah.
row the boat crew. And then FCS. This is going to segue us right into the FCS, which is great. To the FCS games, the good ones on Saturday. South Carolina State at North Carolina Central. This game is going to be huge for figuring out who wins the MEAC. It's an HBCU conference. Schools on the East Coast. Delaware State, South Carolina State, North Carolina Central. Those are the top three teams. There's only 6 teams in there. But those are the only 3 teams who are really worth the crap in that conference. And whoever wins this game is going to get in a good spot to possibly win the conference. With Delaware State also being undefeated in the conference, that'll be a good game on Friday if it's on TV and you find it, watch it. More FCS games. Like I said, playoff pictures coming into play. These are the games you need to be looking for. The Big Sky, teams like Montana, Montana State. You've got UC Davis at Montana State. Montana State is pretty freaking good. UC Davis has been decent. UC Davis is playing for an at-large spot. They need to really probably go win this game. Montana State, I think, is just too good. Now, here's a crossover game. Tennessee Tech at Kentucky. Tennessee Tech is undefeated. Basically haven't had any trouble from anybody except for Gardner Webb. One game. And Gardner Webb is a very respectable, tough FCS team in their conference. Tennessee Tech goes to Kentucky. Kentucky just beat Florida, beat the brakes off of them. I'm not saying that Tennessee Tech wins the game. I think Kentucky's got to be careful about that one. I really do.
I think especially because, the next 2 games for Kentucky at Vanderbilt, at Louisville.
Oh, yeah.
You
It's
can't
a
look
big-
ahead of this spot right here. But I don't think they will, but
And I don't think they will either, but they got to be careful. Don't.
yeah.
And like I said, I'm not picking Tennessee Tech to win by any means because it's going to take a lot for them to do it. But Tennessee Tech is a good football team. They're going to be a top seed in the FCS playoffs. You better come to play. That's all I'm going to say, Kentucky.
Yep.
Now we go to the CAA. Rhode Island at Maine. Maine is playing for an at-large spot. Maine needs to win out to get in the playoff. Rhode Island is one of the top teams in the CAA. They're trying to assert the dominance. So that's a big game here in the CAA. All right. In the Missouri Valley, that's where the Dakotas are. South Dakota at Southern Illinois. South Dakota's gotten 2 big wins here lately. And Southern Illinois is kind of going backwards. And both these teams are playing for at-large bids. The Missouri Valley is going to get about 6 teams in, but there are about 8 teams who got a possibility to get in there. It's a mad dash for the finish line in the Missouri Valley. All right? It's going to be a good one to watch. Illinois State at South Dakota State. South Dakota State is traditionally very dominant, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I would.
the quarterback is hurt, and they are not even close to dominant. They've lost, I think, 3 games in a row. South Dakota State has, and they have a chance to go lose 5 games in a row if this quarterback doesn't come back. And so now they're fighting for an at-large spot. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's getting dicey in the Missouri Valley. Then we go to the Pioneer League. Presbyterian at St. Thomas. Presbyterian was undefeated through about 6 or 7 games, and then they lost. They've lost 2 games now in conference. Bad losses. Should not have lost. They're playing St. Thomas. Both of them are trying to get back to the top. Drake is at the top of the Pioneer League, and you're only going to get 1 team from the Pioneer in because it's a non-scholarship league. No athletic scholarships. So anyway, last one, we go to the Southland Conference. Lamar at Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin is very good. Lamar is rolling right now. They beat South Dakota early in the year. They've got 1 loss in conference. Lamar does. I think Stephen F. Austin either has 1 or 0. So this is a huge game on who gets that automatic bid conference championship in the Southland. And I think it's going to be Stephen F. Austin. All right, we're going to get to G5. South Florida at Navy. South Florida at Navy. South Florida is high flying. Navy can score. Can Navy stop South Florida's defense? Can South Florida stop Navy's offense? You know, the option can pose problems. Can UCF overpower?
I like South Florida. I don't know that at the 9.5 mark. I don't know about that. I do like the over though. Any South Florida game, I'm gonna bet the over.
Probably
But I like
smart.
South Florida. I like South Florida to win this one. I think it's gonna be close just because I think both teams will be able to score points. But give me South Florida. Love the
Yeah,
Navy boys though.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And Navy got held pretty good on offense last week against. Was it last week against North Texas?
It was
No,
2 weeks
Notre Dame
ago.
was
Notre
last
Dame
week.
was last
2 weeks
week.
ago. Yeah. I use USF as well. Their offense, like you said, GM taking over every time. And Navy their offense did get stopped pretty well against North Texas. So I look to see USF have a similar look on defense as North Texas did.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I love the Navy boys too. I got a lot of boys there. Um, I think South Florida might cover.
Mm-hmm.
Think so?
I do. I just think their offense is too good. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I just think their offense is too good. They go really fast. They score a lot of points. Now, I would love to see, y'all know me, I would love to watch that triple option just spank them all the way down the field. You know I love that. And they might can go toe
Yeah,
to
it's
toe with
not
them
out
for a
of
little bit.
possibility.
They might can do it, and I think they got a good possibility to do that. I think South Florida pulls away and wins by 10,
Okay.
14 ish, kind of like North Texas, 31-17. All
Yeah.
right, here's a big one. The 2 undefeateds in the Conference USA, babe. The Kennesaw State Owls at the Jacksonville State Gamecocks cockpit in Jacksonville, Alabama, close to the restaurant called the Rocket, with some great
Mm.
barbecue and fried mac and cheese, babe. Now, but you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Huge game. Uh, Winner of this is in the driver's seat of the Conference USA. Obviously, this is a Conference USA championship game, but if you win this, you're putting yourself probably in a great position to be in that game no matter what happens in the next 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. You need to at least split the next 2 if you win this one right here. Um, Super intriguing game. Here's my thoughts with Kennesaw State. I've obviously watched them a decent amount. They've had games where they've played good in the first half or start of the game, played good at the end, but the middle was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them last week. They played New Mexico State, went out to New Mexico. The first half was great, was up 24-0, and only won the game 24-21.
Yeah.
Can they put? They're going to have to put a whole game together against Jacksonville State on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I've played there. It's going to get pretty rowdy. The student section is
Yeah.
pretty solid. Um, Obviously, I'm going with Kennesaw State, and I think the quarterback. They play a couple quarterbacks sometimes. Odom, I think the cat's good. They got a couple running backs who are very good. Kennesaw State does, and the
Yeah,
defense has been pretty good. I think Kennesaw State gets it done, stays in the driver's seat of the Conference USA.
totally agree. I'm not abandoning KSU right now. Started early with them against La Tech, and they just keep winning. They don't lose. But I like Kennesaw a lot, and their quarterback is good. But like you said, their running backs, dude. Every time I watch Kennesaw State play, I love when they run the ball.
Can't
And
tackle
I can't remember who they played. It's been a couple weeks ago. There's Odom, and who's the other quarterback? I don't
them.
remember. I don't
Williams is
remember
his
his
last
name.
name, maybe.
It was one of them. They one of them was playing and overthrew like 3 deep balls in the first half. They put the other one in there, legitimately first deep ball all the way down to the 5.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But the
they
guys are
got
open, man. Their receivers are good too. I mean, they got an
yeah,
all around good
yeah,
team, but
yeah.
they
They
have
do.
struggled at different times in the game throughout the course of the year. But they got to put it all together. I think they will go out.
Yeah, they haven't been able to put a full game together. Jacksonville State's good team. Rattled off 4 wins in a row. Last two on the road. They finally get to come back home. So, because of those few things, give me Kennesaw State, baby. I'm going with the Owls too. Clean sweep. Get out of here, JSU.
Let's go, baby. Let's
No
go.
longer Cocktober.
Hey, here's another thing. Here's another thing. Yeah, yeah, dude, it's over, and there's no November, especially not in Jacksonville. Listen, here's the thing.
Mm-mm.
Next weekend, your boy is going to be in Kennesaw for the Kennesaw State Missouri State game. There may or
Mm-mm.
may not be a bonus show in Kennesaw, Georgia. Okay, so
Wow.
I'm not, maybe there is, maybe there's not. I'm not saying one way or the other, but just maybe look out for it if you want to check it out. I'm pumped
We can do that.
as freaking can be to be back in the old, some people call it the Saw, baby. I'm ready to be there. All right, here we go. Let's go to the Mountain West. Maybe a little quicker one. Boise State, San Diego State at San Diego State. They're both at the top of the conference. One loss in the conference each. Who do you got? I got Boise. I don't think San Diego State can do anything with Boise.
I got San Diego State.
Okay.
I think San Diego
Okay.
State is one of the most underrated G5 teams. You don't hear anything about them at all. And they're what, 7-2? Are they? They're undefeated in the conference. They have one loss.
San
Um,
Diego State, they have one
they
loss. They
play.
got boat raced by
They
Hawaii last
played
weekend.
Hawaii this past Saturday in Hawaii and lost 38-6.
That's right. That's right.
Now all the other
Still,
games they've won big. This is kind of, I was
yeah,
surprised they lost to Hawaii like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which Hawaii is also good.
Hawaii's pretty
They're
good.
way better than they have been. But anyway, I got San Diego State. I watched Boise State get throttled by Fresno State. They
Oh,
got throttled by Colorado State. But I don't
yeah,
think Boise has it the way that they normally do this
they
year.
don't. And
Yeah.
the starting quarterback's kind of in and out with injury or maybe out completely.
Yeah.
So they go and play
Yeah.
with a backup. Um,
I got I got San Diego State at home in a close one. I think I think San Diego State covers the 2.5, but I think it might be like a field goal or something that wins it towards the end.
you better push those points then, son.
No
Well, no,
need.
no, no. I keep it at the 2.5. You know.
What's it? What? What? Come on, just push them just to push them, you know. Um, listen, Hawaii, speaking of conference pictures, Hawaii, if Boise beats San Diego State and Hawaii wins out, Hawaii is in the freaking Mountain West championship game, son. Think
Mm-hmm.
about that. You know their head coach is a former quarterback for Hawaii.
Who is their quarterback?
Timmy Chang, is that
Timmy
him?
Chang. Yeah, I did not know he was a
Wow.
Dude,
head coach.
dude, he was so
Elite
good.
quarterback.
He was so good, and now he's the head coach, and he's got the broad, they call it broad hood. He's got the broad hood rolling, son.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, that's real good. Next, Utah State at UNLV, another Mountain West. Not as big of a deal because I think both these teams got 2 losses in the conference. But Cardiac Kids kind of Cardiac got them a couple times. Utah State's pretty decent. I think UNLV probably just outscores Utah State. They win.
Mm-hmm. Over
Yeah,
under 70.5.
I was just about to say, give me
Ooh.
the over. That's too
Uh-oh.
high to not take.
Ooh. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like
All right.
UNLV to win it though, but yeah, I like the over. I think.
Yeah, I got UNLV as well.
Yeah. App State at JMU. JMU's playing for a chance to possibly get in the playoff over the ACC. They got to win out,
Mm-hmm.
baby.
Yeah, I got James
JMU,
Madison.
JMU.
App State coming off a 3-game losing streak. It's going to be 4. Give me James Madison at home to take care of business.
Yeah, I think that's
Same.
probably going to be a pretty good one there for JMU. And then one more in the um, Sun Belt. We've already talked about 2 with Troy on Thursday. This will be the third one. Texas State goes to Southern Miss. Now, Southern Miss is sitting there waiting on. They're on the west side of the Sun Belt. Only comes with divisions. They're on the west side, and they're at the top, right? They're at the top,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're trying to win out to get a chance to beat JMU and not let them get in the playoff. And Texas State's been kind of disappointing to me. They were better last
Yeah.
year. I keep
Yeah.
wanting them to be better, but they can't get anything going, man.
They don't have TJ Finley anymore.
Golly. What a tough spot to be in. No
You
Finley.
see what happened to
Golly,
Auburn
dude.
after TJ Finley left?
Went
Agreed.
straight downhill.
He started it,
Man on
but
man.
He poisons everything he touches.
Yeah. Yeah, poor guy.
yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's jump in ACC. My favorite game in ACC, Notre Dame at Pitt. Game day will be there. I picked Pitt. And maybe it's because I just really like what Pitt's doing. They got the backup quarterback who's started for about 6 games now, and they are undefeated with him. I like Pitt. I'll be honest. I like Pitt, and it's in Pittsburgh. It gives them a better chance. Can they go and knock Notre Dame out of the playoff picture? I think they can.
Man. I picked Notre Dame. I think it's going to be close. I like Pitt to cover the 12.5. But I like Notre Dame to win the game. I think that the under 55.5 is a good play. I would obviously get it to 56.5. But I think that
push
both
it.
of these teams are really good at turning the quarterback over, intercepting the ball. So I think there's going to be a couple turnovers like that. I think it's going to keep this game a little lower scoring. Notre Dame obviously likes to run the ball a lot. Pitt, good run defense. But I think Notre Dame, I think they win it in a fairly narrow margin.
Yeah, I like Notre Dame. I think like we said earlier in the year, Notre Dame is every week is basically a playoff game for them. But I think they continue their win streak against Pitt.
Yeah.
And honestly, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if they do cover the 12.5.
If Notre Dame covers,
Yeah.
yeah, I might as well push that at 13.5. Why not, right? Anyway,
I wish they would.
next one. This is honestly a pretty big game here in the ACC. Is Virginia at Duke? Duke is trying to win out to get in the conference championship game. Virginia's trying to win out to get in the conference championship game and possibly get in the playoff. But it's at Duke. Can now Virginia's quarterback Chandler Morris is out. He left the game against Wake Forest. If he doesn't come back, man, what are you thinking? Duke can score points now.
Oh, I'm taking Duke in this one.
The Dookie boys.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Duke
That's
too.
them.
Without Chandler Morris,
Which he is
I don't
questionable
trust
right now
trust Virginia. Okay,
with the
questionable.
concussion.
I don't know. It depends a lot on if Chandler Morris plays or not. I think that I
Yeah,
don't know. I still like Duke at home. Um, but I think it's gonna be really close. Is what I think. I think it's gonna be extremely close. But
Duke
give me
is
Duke to
favored
edge it
4.5.
out. Yeah, yeah. I think Virginia might cover that, but give me Duke to win
Man,
in a very
that's
close
going to be
one.
very intriguing, man. 3:30 or 2:30 for the Central boys. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, last one. This could be quick. I just put it because Miami's kind of fighting for their life right now. NC State at Miami. I mean, NC State is going to give them some issues. I think the quarterback CJ Bailey's pretty dang good.
Hmm.
They got a running back or two who's pretty dang good too. NC State does. Is it going to be enough? Can they stop Malachi Tony? That's the only dude I'm worried about for Miami. Give the ball
Yeah.
to Malachi Tony. That's what I'd say every play.
Please.
I like Miami, but I like NC State to cover the 16 and a half. I can get it to 17 and a half, but I like Miami to
16
win
yeah.
at home.
Right.
Naturally.
Yeah, get it
Yeah,
17.
I like Miami. NC State, big win over Georgia Tech, but I don't think it's that was also at home. I don't think it's a sustainable thing for NC State. Like Miami.
Yeah, NC State's been able to sit on that win for an extra week too. They were a bye last week, so maybe may
Yeah.
are their heads getting a little too filled with their confidence. What are they thinking there? So
Yeah.
Miami's got to win though to be in any contention. So
Hmm.
it's playoff games from here on out for Miami. Um, Big 12, folks. Arizona at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's trying to get into the Big 12 championship game. Cincinnati's got to win out. They got Arizona and they got BYU next week, I think. So they can't look ahead. Arizona's one of those sneaky teams where they can stay close with you. If you mess around, they'll come out and win. Do you
Hmm.
think Cincinnati will mess around?
I don't.
I don't.
I think they're fighting
I don't
for
either.
berth in the championship, and they're at home. I think they're going to be rolling.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I like Cincinnati.
Arizona to Ohio, not a short flight. It's
Not
pretty it's
favorable
pretty
by any
pretty long
stretch.
trip. Not coast to coast, but it's pretty long. All right.
Yeah.
TCU at BYU. BYU is now fighting for their lives, trying to get in the conference championship and get in the playoff. TCU can throw the ball around the yard with Josh Hoover, and can BYU stop them? Can TCU find ways to throw the ball and score a lot of points and make it tough on BYU? I don't think they can. I think BYU is going to bounce back. They're just too disciplined, man. They're a tough team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a lot of times after a loss is when it's tougher the more you win to try to figure out what you're doing wrong and like see it better. But with them losing to Texas Tech last week, they could take a lot away from that game on things to improve on to
Yeah.
go and take against TCU. I think they cover 4.5, double it.
I agree with that. I think BYU's too, like you said, Jake, I think they're too disciplined. And D, I agree with you. Coming off a loss, it is a lot easier because you keep winning, you keep doing the same things over and over again, but still keep winning. That never bites you. You don't really figure it out until it actually does bite you. So yeah, give me BYU. I like them to cover the 4.5 as well.
Go ahead and push it at 6.5 while you're at it.
Yeah,
All right, here we
push.
go. Last one in Big 12. Last one in Big 12. Utah at Baylor. Utah's same boat. They're fighting for their lives, for their postseason lives, going to Waco to play Baylor. Dave Aranda. You know what? Dave Aranda, there are some words out there. Dave Aranda's trying to save his job. I'm not saying that, but there are whispers. And I love Dave Aranda. I don't think they need to get rid of him, but there are
You can't win in
whispers.
the top 25
So,
games.
True.
yeah, well, who can, right? Who can? Who you got for that one? Utah at Baylor.
I got Utah. I don't know if they cover the 7.5. I think Baylor's going to be able to score points. I just think their offense is too good to just get bombarded. Um,
Hmm.
but I do think this will be a high scoring game because I think Utah's offense is really good. I don't Baylor's defense is not. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like the over
yeah.
16.5. Utah, I do like them to win. Maybe not to cover the 7.5. But give me Utah in a close one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
like Utah too. Their offense is good enough to score on Baylor's defense, but I think their defense is. I mean, they've got a pretty good defense to stop Baylor enough to give them the edge in this one. But I do think it's going to be closer. I was close to picking Baylor. I just don't think Baylor just hasn't shown me enough on
Hmm.
defense to be able
I
to
don't think they'll be
stop
able to
people.
stop Utah. Yeah.
Yeah, to be
Yeah.
able to stop
They
people to win it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, Big Ten. One game in the Big Ten. Iowa at USC. Can Iowa bounce back and get a win? USC's fighting for at-large bid. They want it bad. They need it. Lincoln Riley wants it. Can they keep winning and keep the hopes alive? The Trojans. I think they do.
I do too. I like USC. It really goes back to the Michigan game. I mean,
Yeah,
Iowa's more Michigan than Michigan is. So if that makes sense, I mean, Iowa's going to keep it on the ground. They're not going to be able to throw it around as effectively. That's just not what they do. I think USC is going to be able to score points on Iowa just because their offense and firepower is way up there. So give me USC. I feel like it's going to be kind of the same score as the Michigan game, somewhere around 31-13. Maybe not quite that bad. Maybe like a 27-13 or 27-17 or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Iowa needs it to be the same game they played against Oregon.
Yeah,
If they can
exactly.
make it that, they got a good chance. I just I just have more faith in USC for some reason. Because they've shown they can run and be physical versus Michigan and Nebraska win. So I think they're going to do that with
Hmm.
Iowa. Um, jump to the SEC. Then we got two games. First one, Oklahoma at Bama. All right, can Oklahoma stop Alabama's pass offense? I think can they
I
get pressure on Simpson? Can they stop the pass?
I think they can do both of those. I think they can do both of those. Do I think they will? Of, effectively enough to completely stifle Alabama's offense? No, I don't. But I think they will show signs of there might be a chance. Like I think there's a chance that they could do it enough, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't either. I think Oklahoma's pass rush will be able to get after Ty Simpson a fair amount. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think Alabama's got the athletes and the play calling ability to shorten up the pass game and still be able to make big plays. And shorten the pass game and catching a ball at 6 to 8 and turning it into 15 is going to be a big part of their offense. I think at least early on, and once Oklahoma starts to drop more people in underneath coverage to stop that, is when Alabama's going to hit them over the top with a big shot for maybe not a touchdown, but for a long play. I just don't trust Oklahoma's offense. They're running the ball better, but Alabama's defense has played better and better every single week. So I don't trust Mateer to throw the ball, throw them to a win. I don't trust them to run the ball effectively enough to win this game. So give me Alabama. I like them to cover the 5.5. I feel like this game is going to be another installment of the Alabama LSU game last week. Kind of lower scoring, but Alabama still wins by double digits.
If Oklahoma
Alabama's
wants to win this game, they're gonna have to force. They're gonna have to make Ty Simpson make mistakes.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
throw an interception, get a fumble from him, and it's gonna have to be in plus territory or very close. I don't think
Hmm.
I don't think Oklahoma's offense is going to be able to drive methodically, 75 yards down the field and put points up consistently enough to beat Bama. I think they're going to have to get some turnovers deep in Alabama's territory to get better chances of hitting those bigger plays to try to get some points on the board.
Yep. And the thing is, at least what has been shown up to this point, Alabama doesn't turn the ball over much, and Alabama forces
Hmm.
turnovers on defense.
Yeah.
Alabama was forcing turnovers like crazy on LSU. They've been doing it for a good bit over the year. I think that's probably going to be the difference. The turnover margin. Alabama's going to get some extra drives. Oklahoma's going to lose drives
Yeah.
because of the turnovers.
And
Um,
Mateer is turnover prone too, so that I mean,
ever since the thumb, ever since the injury, he has been. I hate it, but he just has been, you know. And
hmm
Ty Simpson's been the opposite. Now, if something goes haywire and they flip spots, then Oklahoma's going to beat the piss out of them, you know.
yeah.
Um, but I just don't see that. Nothing's shown me that that's going to happen. So I've got to go Alabama.
hmm
Um, and if Alabama can ever figure out how to run the ball, they're going to be lethal. They're already
Yeah,
pretty tough to
without.
beat, but they cannot run the ball. They got to figure that out if they
Oh,
want to go deep in the
I
playoffs.
think I don't remember who it was talking about this. I think Alabama, their running the ball, their ability to run the ball is what it is at this point. 9 games
Yeah,
in, I think this is just who they are. The good thing about it is you can still find ways to win, and I don't think Oklahoma's defensive front seven is a team that you're going to figure out how to run the ball against.
no, they're not.
So
That's a great point.
um, I like Alabama to Ty Simpson throw them to a win. I think even if Ty Simpson does turn the ball over once or twice, I think Alabama on offense is good enough to come right. Like if Oklahoma scores on the ensuing possession, I think Alabama's good enough to come right back and match them. I don't think Oklahoma's good enough to if they turn the ball over and Alabama scores for them to come back on offense and match them. So that's why I like Alabama to win this one and cover.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And in the last game, Texas at Georgia. Um, a lot of people are getting back on the Texas bandwagon. They had a good game versus Vandy. The first three quarters were elite. Listen, Arch was throwing it to these guys in space, and Vanderbilt couldn't tackle him, and Texas
hmm
was gone. The fourth
Yeah.
quarter, no offense, Vandy, and no defense for Texas. Vandy was scoring, doing whatever they wanted. Now, I mean, you can say what you want. Yes, they had to get an onside kick, whatever. They almost had it, but Texas did not finish the game out. They won, they didn't finish the game.
hmm
Um, Arch Manning, I just need to see it more than a game and a half. Or technically, it's one quarter in Mississippi State and then three quarters against Vandy. So basically, one game I've seen him be elite, what everybody thought. And I hope he keeps doing that for his career. But I just don't know if in Athens, Georgia, I don't know if that's going to be the. I just think it's so crazy. Some people are saying, I think he's going to have his biggest game on the biggest stage that he's faced so far.
hmm
I mean, now that happens sometimes. I just don't see this happening. All right.
If he does,
And
check the Heisman odds.
oh yeah,
Oh, they
he'll
will.
skyrocket.
He'll be number 5. Yeah.
He'll skyrocket. And in the words of Taylor Osborne, I think Texas is a small potato kind of guy in this game. Give me the dogs, babe.
Small potato kind of guy.
You heard me. You heard me.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Georgia in this one. Georgia just finds ways to win. They're just gonna win. Um, I like them to cover the 5.5. I think this is gonna be something like 24-14 or 24-13 or something. I just don't trust Texas to come out and be able to do what they did to Mississippi State. I mean, to Vanderbilt in that fashion for the whole game against Georgia's defense. I don't think Texas will be able to run the ball in Georgia's defense, so Arch Manning is going to have to throw them to a win. I don't foresee that happening. I think it's going to be a low scoring game because Texas defense is really good, and they can give Georgia some fits. And I think vice versa, Georgia's defense is really good. They can give Texas some fits.
Mm-hmm.
And these are two of the top teams in in tackling. Um, so I think that they're not going to give up many big plays through missed tackles. So they're either going to have to hit them over the top, or you have to break a tackle or something, which is hard to do against these two teams. So give me Georgia, give them cover the 5.5, 24-14, 24-13 is my score prediction.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got Georgia as well. We went from Arch Manning is a complete bust to Arch Manning is going to go beat Georgia in like 3 weeks.
It's a fun
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. Now, do I think that Arch Manning is going to be able to make some plays in this game to keep it respectable? Yes, I do. But I don't think he's going to be able to do it consistent enough to. Because I watched him play Oklahoma, Vandy, and especially Mississippi State in that last quarter and overtime. The dude can make every throw he wants to. But I don't think Georgia is going to let him do that.
Hmm.
I don't think
They won't
they're
let
going to
it.
give him enough time. I don't think that
They
he's going to
won't.
get enough time to be able to deliver those kinds of throws. And um, I don't think that he's going to have that many guys that open enough for him to be confident making those throws. I think later in his career he'll start letting these things fly, but
Yeah.
right now I don't think he's. It doesn't seem like he's confident enough to do it. Now
And Georgia
he might come out and do it. I don't know.
Georgia's not going to let him be comfortable. I mean, their
No.
pass rush isn't what it usually is, but they're going
Hmm.
to be bringing stuff. I mean, he's not going to be comfortable. Georgia and Vanderbilt's defenses are just different, and it's
Yeah.
going to be tougher on him. And like one of y'all said it before, Georgia just finds ways to win, and that's what I
Yep.
trust with Georgia. I gotta trust that Georgia's going to find a way to win somehow, and they're going to get it done.
Yep.
Hmm.
And that's just that simple. All right, that's our last game. Griff, bet guy, got any odds? Got any bets for us there, parlay man?
Um, yeah, I said one Alabama minus 5.5 against Oklahoma. I've got Georgia Tech minus 16.5 against Boston College. Boston College
Okay.
just is not, they're not very good. I like Georgia Tech. They're playing to keep themselves in the driver's seat. I think they come out and have a good game. I think they have a bye last week. I can't remember if they had a bye
Who's
last week
that?
if they played. Georgia
I think
Tech.
so.
Yeah, they had a bye. They didn't play.
Yeah, so I like them to come out fired on all cylinders. And then give me Texas A&M minus 19.5 against South Carolina at home. South Carolina has been a disappointment, and Texas A&M continues to just pour it on. So those are my three.
Mm. I think Coastal Carolina plus 2.5 over Georgia Southern. I don't know why they're not favored or yeah, favored to win.
Hmm.
Which one? Hold on a second. There's one I was gonna say too. Um, oh, South Alabama is favored to beat UL Monroe on the road this weekend. Give me UL Monroe plus 4.5. I think that's a tough one there for South Al. I don't know. I don't understand that one. And then one more, Virginia Tech plus 13.5 at Florida State. That just seems like
Hmm.
too much to me. That
Yeah,
seems
it
like too
does.
much to me. So that's those. I mean, I guess those are the three. There's probably some more, but those are the three right there. But anyway, will I throw a parlay out there this weekend? I don't know. Maybe, probably not. I suck at parlays. Anyway, any closing thoughts? We're done, folks. We're done. We've been here for almost 2 hours. Any other closing thoughts in a minute and a half?
Is it 247 Sports? Is that the
There's a sports site 247.
okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
I just got sent a thing on Twitter that says Lenore Sellers plans to sit out the remainder of the season to enter the transfer portal, but it's from 274 Sport.
Yeah, you got to look out for
Have to.
for
No
those
three, fake.
no three
Pete No
sports, Pete
Goes,
Nocos, no, don't.
274.
Yep, don't
Get
Ban
out.
X. Ban
take
X. It's
take those
done.
with a grain of
Cancel.
salt.
Cancel X.
I'm telling you what, we talked about that earlier. I think that these people should sue these accounts for libel. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah, they probably already have, honestly.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Get them out of here. This was great. 2 hours almost on the dot. Thank you for watching. If you stay with us this long, you are a true fan. You love college football and you love us, baby. and we love you too. All right. If you're here this long, you need to go vote on the poll, comment, subscribe, follow, rate, all the good stuff, and then hit me up, and we'll get you on the show one of these days. We love you all. God bless you. We'll see you next time.